Everyone, welcome back to Langchain series. Imagine writing the same prompt again and again, tweaking words, changing variables, and fixing formatting. It is always a pain point and very difficult to scale the application. In this video, I will show you how to move from messy prompt to a more structured, reusable prompt engineering using Langchain step by step. So first, we have to understand what is prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is basically designing inputs based on your business needs to get reliable, structured, and high quality outputs from an LLM model. It is one of the most important, or we can say the building block of the application uh, built on the LLM models. But sometimes the developers or who think that whatever they will write, they will get a good output from the LLM model. But it is important that while designing the prompt, we have to be very careful with the words we choose, structure we follow, context we provide, which will help the model in the right direction and to get the desired output. If we don't follow this, it can result in inconsistent prompt, hard-coded prompts, which cannot be used, and eventually it will become difficult to manage. So for this purpose, Langchain comes into the picture and it provides us with the templates, structured prompts, and reusable workflows. So first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to look into the first simple prompt. So when I open this code, so you can see here, first I have got my model, Langchain Olama model, and to get load.env for getting the environment variables. Now, if you look at this particular code, okay, what we have done here is like we are directly sending a string. List three benefits of using LangChain. We are sending a string to the model. So this is more kind of a hard-coded way of using the prompt. So this will work. Definitely, this is going to work. This code is going to give us the output, but it has limitations because it has no structure, no reusability, and we cannot scale this one. So let's say if tomorrow, if you want to change the theme of the prompt, okay, you want to make it five benefits instead of three benefits, okay, you want to go for a different topic or a different format, but so then you have to change it here in this particular line. So that's which means that you have to change the prompt every time. So that is why this is the problem here. Okay, so that's why this kind of structure is not being welcomed. So please avoid this kind of a hard-coded prompt structure. So what I will do is like I have ran this particular code. You can see here UV run and the file name of the prompt. And what I have mentioned here is list three benefits of using the LangChain. So you see it's showing us the hard-coded prompt. LangChain is this open source vendor, and here are the three key benefits of using LangChain: ease of use, versatility, and extensibility. Okay, so definitely it's going to work, but this kind of structuring or hard-coded way of doing the prompt engineering is not good from development perspective. So in the next code, we are going to look into the prompt templates. Okay, so from moving from this kind of structure of hard coding, we are going to move on the prompt template. So basically, the key thing to notice here is that we have been introduced with the prompt template. So you see here from Langchain core prompts, we have got the prompt template. So everything will remain the same. So we are getting the model, Chat Olama model with this particular model, and then here we have introduced two variables. One is the text. So this is the text which we got here. Okay, this is a very huge text. Then there's a variable called as word count, then prompt template. Okay. And here inside the prompt template, what we are doing, we are passing the word count as well as the text as uh, as a as a variable. Okay. So so what's happening here is like we have defined the structure here once. Okay. So if you want to change the word count or if you want to change the text, you can just do it accordingly. You don't need to change it in the template. Okay. You just need to change it in the variable and you will get the desired output. Okay. So you can reuse it with the different variables also or with different inputs also. So what's happening here is like uh, we have made it in a more kind of a structured way with the help of the prompt template. And here we have three methods which we have used from the prompt template. One is from template. So this method is create a reusable prompt. Okay, and we are passing the prompt template, and this is the prompt template where we have defined uh, defined what the instructions or the role. You are an expert in summarizing news. Please summarizing the following text in word count. This one, and this is the text. Okay, so this is the text we want and this is the word count of the summary. We want it in a 150 words. Okay, and then from template is basically it's creating a reusable prompt, and then you have the format. So in the format we are injecting the value, what is the word count, what is the text. Okay, and then we are getting the template, or we are basically, which is the summarizer. Okay, in 150 words of the whole news or the whole text. Okay, so let me I have ran this particular code and I will show you. Okay, so you see here, this is the UV run, this is the code. Okay, and you see here the output here is the template. This template, so this template is, we are getting the values in the we are getting the summary in the 150 words. Okay, so it's more kind of a first step towards you can say putting the code, putting the prompt in a more kind of in a structured way using the prompt template. Okay, so yeah, we can say kind of a first step towards production grade LLM apps, where we are separating the logic from the data. Okay, so data here is referring to the variables which is being used and where this particular information is being put together. Okay, so now the next thing is about the is the chat template. Okay, so basically, what we are doing here is we are moving from the text prompt, because the prompt template were more conducive towards the text prompt, but now we are moving towards the chat based prompts. Okay, so here we are defining the parameters. Please remember there are three parameters which we have defined. One is the role, then question, and then the context. So basically, we have the system where we are defining the role. Okay, then we have the user. So user is basically the contains the question, what is the user query, and the assistant is basically reference to the guidance or the context. Okay, so here the context is like focus on what we are doing. The role here is that you are a fitness coach. The question is like create a 3 month plan for the flat apps, and the context is like a little bit of background, like what should how we want our output to be. So focus on simple beginner exercises, proper rest days, and workout, and all those things. Okay, so this is so why it matters is like because LLMs are trained in a conversational format. So instead of simply writing in text format, like explain the fitness plan, okay, we define the system, user, and the assistant. So this provides user kind of a more information, okay, in a more structured way, and it improves the output quality. So basically, chat prompt template gives you control over how the model thinks, not just what it says. Okay, so once we get this particular, when we have defined this role, question, and context, we are passing it. So role is being passed in the side the system. The question is basically the user query, which is being pushed inside the user, and context is the how do you want your output, a little bit more information, so that comes under the assistant. And now with the help of this chat template is containing this one. Okay, from the messages and chat template, we are formatting the message, and here we are passing the role, question, and the context again. And then we have the model.invoke, and here we are passing the messages, and then we are getting the output with the help of the LLM models. Okay, so I will run this one also. And so you see here, I have ran this code here. Let me go up. Yeah. So this is the UV run, the file name. Okay. And it's, we want, what do we want? We want a fitness plan for 3 months fitness plan for the flat app. Okay. So it has given this response, emphasize on core and each month. Okay. And then after for each month, it's also showing in the week one, week two, how to do that, how to plan your exercises. So yeah, so basically we are now putting the more parameters, role, context, and questions. Okay, so um, this is a very good thing about the chat prompt template. Okay, now the next thing is about the message placeholder. So when we talk about the message placeholder, okay, so what happens here is like just remember one thing. Okay, so with the help of the message placeholder, we are providing a kind of a memory integration. Okay, so what's happened here is that instead of only the current question, like what the user is asking, we can now pass the conversation plus the current question. Okay, so because this is important, it enables the chatbots to understand the follow-up questions, context awareness, and this is how we move from a single prompt to a real conversational AI. So now let's see. So what we are doing here is we have got all the important files, okay, and we have got the message placeholder from the Langchain core, okay, and we have got the human message and AI message. Now here, what we are getting the model. We have defined the model, and then inside the prompt, we are getting the chat prompt template. Same like we have seen the example. We have the system, and we have the here. You know that when we're using the chat prompt template, we can define the system. We can define the system is basically where you are putting your role. We can provide the context, and also here we can provide the message placeholder. Okay, so where you are putting the history, what has happened before, a kind of a little bit more context. Okay, and then human, and then the question, okay, inside this one. So and history, in the history, okay, you can define the human message. Okay, uh, like what is the Langchain, which is basically the question. Okay, and then AI message, we are giving the content. Langchain is a framework of with prompts and everything. And then what is lang graph, and then you are providing the definition of lang graph. What does the lang graph do? So we are creating kind of an history about the definitions of certain important open source libraries. Okay, now in the next, what happens is like when we pass this particular history, okay, and the user asks a question, how do the Langchain and lang graph compare? Okay, so it's going to show me the difference between Langchain and lang graph with the help of uh, the history which we have provided, where we have defined the definitions of Langchain and LangGraph. Okay, so in simple words, message placeholder helps us to provide the historical background. We can provide some more information as an history to the to the chatbots. Okay, so yes, so this is how, and let me run this particular code. So when I go to this message placeholder, okay, so this is the message placeholder. Okay, this is the code which I have ran. Uh, Sorry. Yes, this is the message place. Yeah, this is the code which we have ran. Okay, so here it's showing the difference between that. The both LangChain and LangGraph are frameworks for building LLM application, but they differ in their approach to agent workflows. Okay, so yeah, so this is how we do the uh, we define the message placeholders, and it's very much important. Now, the next example is the few short prompts. Okay, so few short prompts is basically a way of teaching the model, where few short prompting means providing examples in simple words. So we teach the model using examples. So we give them the examples. Like let's say here in this particular code, first of all, we have got this few short template from the LangChain core. We have defined the model. Okay, and then here we are providing some examples, question and answer example, like what is Python. Okay, then we have provided the answer. Then again, what is JavaScript, and JavaScript is a language primarily used for the development. Okay, and once we have provided these examples, so we are using the prompt template, and here we are providing the question and answers. Okay, and here template, we have provided the question and answer accordingly. Okay, now in the QA prompt, what we are defining, we are using the few short prompt template, which contains the uh, examples. So in the examples, we are putting the QA examples, these examples which we have defined. Okay. So examples, then we have the example prompt. So example prompt, we have providing the QA example prompt, which we have defined here. Okay. So basically it's containing the prompt, okay, example prompt, and then the QA examples where we have provided the examples in the QA and question and answer format. Okay. And then we are passing then we are providing the suffix and input variables. Okay, and then we are providing the q and in the model we are providing the actual input, what we want, what is Langchain. So it's going to give us the definition of this particular Langchain. Okay, based upon the examples, like how we have defined the what is Python, what is JavaScript. Okay, so now what happens here is here it's going to give us the output like this one. Langchain, you can see the example when I ran this code. What is Langchain? So it gives us the definition of the Langchain. That's how we have defined the previous examples. Okay. Similar way, we can give a kind of a classification examples. So we can say the text, I love this. So sentiment is positive, sentiment is negative. If I say this is terrible, pretty good overall, sentiment is positive. Okay. Now we are again putting this inside the prompt template. Okay, the input variables. So input variables has text and sentiment. Okay, text and sentiment, which is the parameter used. And then we are using the template. Okay, and then we are using the few short template. Okay, so inside this, we have provided the examples, which is the classification examples we have used. Okay, then the example prompt is the classification prompt here. Okay, and then the suffix and the input variables. Okay, now here, when we are calling this model again, we are going to ask amazing product. So it's going to give us whether it's a positive or negative, negative negative feedback. Okay, so it's going to give us a positive feedback. Okay, so this way we can provide the examples in a particular structured way, and then we can put those in alongside with the prompt to get the desired output. And see here, few short examples teach the model the pattern. Okay, so this is how we do this few short. So basically, few short is like telling the showing the LLM models before asking. Okay, because why this is useful? Because LLMs are always a kind of a pattern learners. So when we show examples, the output becomes more consistent, the format becomes more predictable, and the accuracy improves. So instead of hoping the model understanding your intent, we can show it like how exactly we want. So that's why providing examples is very much important. And with the help of the few shots, it's important to understand. Now, the other thing which I wanted to discuss apart from the different Langchain problems, there are apart from different Langchain templates which is being provided for prompt engineering, there are certain common mistakes. Okay, so some of the common mistakes while prompt engineering are writing long, messy prompts. Okay, so that can also be a problem. Okay, not using variables, because not using variables, then also not providing any kind of a role, uh, too many rules, providing too many rules. Okay, uh, which is also one of the reason why the LLM models hallucinate. And other thing is like no examples, with not using the few short prompt template, and then hard coding everything. So these things are the common mistakes which beginners do when they are doing the prompt engineering. So so what we understood here is like prompt engineering is not about writing longer prompts. It's about writing structured, reusable, and scalable prompts. Langchain gives us the tools to do exactly. If the raw prompts are like scripts, Langchain templates are like software architecture, we can say. So it's all about this video. Thanks for watching the videos, and let me know if you have any questions in comment section. See you in the next video.